PS4 made me smile at just about every second of the 15-hour journey. With an amazingly crafted story not only about Spider-Man's life, but about Peter's life as well, today I'm going to be talking about Spider-Man PS4. The main goal of this game was to make you feel as much like Spider-Man as possible, and let me tell you, they succeeded. I found myself just swinging for hours with no specific destination ahead to get a good feel of how perfect the swinging mechanics are and just how much fun it was just to swing across the skyline of New York City. The performance from all the voice actors is truly amazing. A nice little touch that I noticed from the game is if you're swinging, the voice actor who plays Peter has an audible difference while he's swinging, so when he's swinging it sounds like he's grunting and trying to swing.
Committee will be here soon. We need to run an equipment check.
I'm almost there. Blocks away.
And if you're standing still and he's talking, then it just sounds like you're talking on the phone.
I really hope this works out. Doc's work is too important to go unfinished.
That's a brilliant little touch that they add in this game, and that's just something that I think encompasses this game super well, just how specifically crafted it is. The combat is easy and smooth. Insomniac Games is really well known for their crazy and wacky weapons from their Ratchet & Clank series, and this game really encourages you to get a new weapon. Like web. Okay. In all honesty though, figuring out what weapons go with what fighting style and what weapons work well together, it was just a really good time, and I know that Insomniac does a great job with every weapon design in games like the Ratchet & Clank series, where it encourages you to try new weapons and upgrade new weapons.
Alright, we're gonna try and hit that water bottle with the new upgradable gravity bomb from Ratchet & Clank going commando.
Go!
Oh, way off.
You missed it. My bad.
And I was kind of confused on, well, what kind of weapons can you do from a Spider-Man game? Like, you can only do a few types of web shooters, but I'm completely wrong. They made it perfectly. They have specific weapons that work well together, specific weapons that are meant to work alone. It's just so fun. It's so fun. This suit is so thin that I can touch my screen. Along with figuring out what weapons you like to use, there is a large array of Spider-Man suits. Each suit has a correlating power, and each power... Dude. Whoops. Each suit has a correlating power. The great thing about that is, as you progress through the game and as you unlock new suits, you get a new power with it. Each of those powers can be separated from that suit, so that's great. That's a godsend. That's amazing. I love that ability. The problem is the first few abilities and powers that they give you with these suits are so good I rarely ever left them. I used the refill your energy bar so I can reheal myself, and I pretty much used that almost the entire game because it was so valuable to me. We have never had a Spider-Man game show us Peter Parker like this. All the Spider-Man games in the past, you are Spider-Man. That's how it works. You're playing Spider-Man, it's a Spider-Man game. But never have they shown you a good look into Peter's life and done it well. It's not a new idea to have your main character have to go off and do side missions to upgrade some things, to upgrade some other things so that you can do something else. That's not a new concept. Some games do it better than others. Something about you having to switch to Peter and then going into Octavius Labs to work on some fiber optics and some other things, and to have those benefit you in a way that you can change your suit and you can do all these things and you can create new weapons once you do that, and it's a nice refreshing take on the superhero game where you live a normal life but you have to balance both lives. But this game honestly really made me care for Peter. And not only did I just care for Peter, but honestly I cared for Dr. Octavius. And you obviously know, if you saw Spider-Man 2, that Dr. Octavius is a bad guy. He turns into Dr. Octopus, and he's a villain. It works so well, and you end up caring for Doc Ock. And I did not expect that to come out of a superhero game. I expected to good versus evil, especially with Spider-Man. There's good and there's evil, and Spider-Man is good and the bad guys are evil, and that's just how it goes. But they kind of humanized some of the villains, and it's crazy incredible to see the storytelling that they utilized in this game. It's truly incredible. Something that superhero movies do is they mess up the stakes. It doesn't always have to be an end of the world scenario. And more often than not, this game has more realistic problems than anything I've ever seen in a superhero game. As realistic as they can get, in the beginning of the game you can see that Peter has a decision to make to either go and fight Fisk or stay and pay the rent, and obviously as Spider-Man he goes out after Fisk. But later in the game you go back to your apartment and you can see that everything is gone. You've been evicted because you didn't pay the rent. That's realistic problems. And then there's a whole mission about you trying to get your things back from the garbage company, and as realistic as a Spider-Man game can be, that's what it feels like. It's crazy to me. All of those things make the world that you're playing in feel like a real world. It makes you feel like you're Spider-Man in our world. It's incredible. In my opinion, Peter and MJ's storyline is one of the best romantic stories in a game ever.
You don't think this has anything to do with Lee, do you?
Sorry to cook and run.
Did you just leave your clothes on the kitchen floor?
Seeing Peter worry about things like the text he sent to MJ being misinterpreted is one of the most realistic things I've seen in a game in a long time. It feels amazingly real.
No, not that kind of over!
If that's not the perfect interpretation of how our relationships are today, then I don't know what is. It fits perfectly in the world that we are in the game and in real life. When I bought this game, the only thing I wanted was to feel like Spider-Man, and this game did much more than that. It made me care for characters I never imagined I would. It gave me a fun, exciting, emotional look into Peter Parker's life, and from all the work on Insomniac Games, it really did make me feel like Spider-Man. If you did not see how I made this sign, you can go check out that video right here. I'm trying to think of where I put it normally. I'm gonna put it right there, and then if you want to subscribe, you can click right there. It'd be much appreciated. Weapon.